Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for checking this out. I actually put way too much effort into this, so thanks for checking it out. Yeah, so basically, what the title says, how to get your rigger's ticket without going through an expensive course. I recently got my rigger's ticket, and over the past few years, actually, I've ended up just asking for a bunch of information. I wanted to get my rigger's ticket, and so this is kind of a collaboration of all of the information that I've gotten over the years, and recently just finally passed my riggers exam, and so got my riggers ticket, and now I'm able to pack reserve parachutes. It's so nice to be able to maintain my own gear and whatnot. So yeah, I know that this process is kind of elusive. Not many people know about it or how to kind of go about it, and so that's exactly why I made this. So, like I said, I put way too much effort into this. I even bought a nice little PowerPoint presentation, a keynote thing. So, if you would be so kind to drop a like on the like button, I would greatly appreciate that. But let's get started, okay? So, a little bit about me. My name's Evan Santangelo. I've been jumping for about 6 years, 1,400 jumps or so. A lot of those are free fly, wingsuit, some tracking. I don't like to do too much angle or belly, but yeah, that's what I've been doing. About 35 hours in the tunnel. Use that a lot. I'm currently a I'm currently a load organizer at Spaceland San Marcos here in Central Texas. So if you're in the area, hit me up. Let's do a jump together and let's have some fun. Okay. So a little bit about me. Cool. Yeah, so why did I decide to get my rigger's ticket? Well, as I mentioned earlier, I really wanted the ability to just maintain my own gear, not really having to rely on riggers. I'm sure if you are a skydiver, you have had to deal with, just coordinating, picking up a rig, dropping it off, just that kind of stuff, and it can be kind of annoying. But the ability to really do it on your own is really nice. So the second reason that I decided to get my rigger's ticket is because one of the riggers that I was dealing with really ticked me off, and gave me a damaged closing loop. Wasn't too happy about that, and then when I asked him to fix it, ended up being just a very difficult. So yeah, that was the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And yeah, it was just really annoying, and so I wanted to be able to not only learn about this stuff, but be knowledgeable enough to trust myself with packing my reserve parachute. And I really enjoy the technical side of skydiving, the gear part, if you will. How everything works together and all that. I love the mechanics of it and just the design behind it. So the first the first rig that I had, I actually, right at the end of the 6 months, I took the entire thing apart, and I was like, oh, how does this stuff work? And yeah, I basically took it all apart just to try and figure out how everything worked. And so, like I said, I have a big interest in actually how everything works, and so just getting my rigger's ticket was kind of the next step. And yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. So a lot of the stuff that I have learned, I want to give credit where credit is due. I've learned a lot of stuff from other riggers in the past, but the one thing in common that they all have said was pointing me to Simon Wade's videos on YouTube. Now, Simon Wade has a YouTube channel. You can see that here. And he has a ton of different videos or on his channel, basically about everything that you can think of when it comes to rigging. He also has a lot of information when it comes to getting your rigger's ticket, and that's pretty much exactly what I followed. So the reason that I'm making this video is because his stuff is fantastic, and I'm going to reiterate a lot of what he says. There are a handful of things that are just needing updating. So the videos that he has on rigging in terms of like getting your rigger's ticket, probably 8 to 10 years old. For example, he has a video of going over a form, which the form has it's an FAA form. And unfortunately, the FAA form it's still kind of in date, but they have a new version of it. Okay, and so I'll walk you through that, and I'm not looking to make this an extremely long video, but just kind of to give you a general idea of what the process that I went through and all that kind of stuff. So let me show you Simon Wade's channel real fast. So that's right here. Let's click videos. So he has got a bunch of really great technical things in terms of like, here's how to install a BOC, right? Or replace a BOC. He actually has a video on how to make them from scratch as well. Let's scroll down here. He has a lot more videos that don't pertain to getting your riggers stuff, but let's see. So this is one of the biggest ones that you will want to follow right here, and I'll be kind of following this same thing as well. So how to become a senior parachute rigger without going through a rigger course. Lots of really good information in here. He is super knowledgeable, and this is my version of just an updated version of what he's done, okay? Or what he's already put together. Very good information there. Definitely check it out. Okay. Let's go back here. So huge credit to Mr. Simon Wade. Thanks so much for this, dude. Really appreciate it. But yeah, let's go to the next step. So what is involved in getting a parachute rigger certificate? Okay, well, it really comes down to 3 steps. It's actually super simple, but each step requires a certain amount of effort that you have to put into it. So when you break it down, what you really need are 20 pack jobs for the type of system or the rating that you're looking for. For example, there's 4 different types of reserve or parachutes, right? So you're looking at, there's a seat type, there's a chest type, there's a back type, and there is a lap type. For all of those of you in the skydiving world, we use back type, obviously, and so that is the pack jobs that you're going to be needing to do. You're going to need 20 pack jobs of a back type rig or system, right? So after you get that, we're going to go and you'll need to pass a written test. This written test is 50 questions. You go to a testing center and all that. I'll walk you through a little bit more once we get to that step. And then once you pass the written test, you will have to take an oral and practical test with a DPRE. DPRE is a designated parachute rigger examiner, and you'll basically just need to show them that you have that you exhibit basic knowledge of parachute rigging. Okay, they're not looking for you to be an expert on anything, because there's a lot of there's a lot of changing situations in rigging. It's all, a lot of it is honestly improvised. So they're looking to see if you can just exhibit basic knowledge, like I said. So those are the basic steps. I'll walk you through in detail them a little bit more individually as we go, but those are the overall steps, okay? So the first thing you need to do, obviously 20 pack jobs, right? So how you're going to do that is these pack jobs need to be supervised, okay? So they will need to be supervised by a parachute rigger who already has that rating. So if you go to a drop zone, more than likely there will be a rigger there who has a back type rating, and you will need to do all of your pack jobs underneath them, okay? Like I said, 20 pack jobs, offer to pay them because they will be working with you. Don't expect that they're just going to sign off pack jobs for you. This is something that they've had to put a lot of work and effort into, just like I just have. I know how much it is. Fortunately for me, the rigger that I was working with was a super insanely nice dude, and he really didn't want any money at all. He just kind of did it as a hobby. He loved rigging. He loved kind of the sewing that goes involved into it, and he offered just to kind of supervise them for free. I gave him some cash anyway, not only that, but gave him some gift cards as well, just because I appreciated, the fact that he was willing to help me out and give me the sign-offs and supervision and knowledge that I needed. So make sure that you're taking care of those people who are going to take care of you. Don't just be a deadbeat that is just wanting a sign-off on this kind of stuff, okay? So like I said, offer to pay them. What you will also need is you'll need to buy the tools to work with. Okay, I'll go over those on the next slide. But basically, learn from them. Follow the manual when it comes to packing reserves. What you can do, obviously, you don't want to do these pack jobs on a rig that is in service right now, because then you will be putting more pack jobs on that rig. What you can do is find or have access to a kind of like an old beater rig that no one uses anymore, something like maybe a rig that is used for water training, a parachute that's used for water training as well. You're not going to want to be doing this on brand new equipment, right? Because you will be putting wear and tear on it. You're going to be learning. That's just kind of the best way to go about it. Usually, if you're at a drop zone, they have kind of some, I guess you can call them burner rigs, right? Where they're not really in use. They're kind of more for training purposes. That's what you're going to be looking for, okay? So once you get those 20 pack jobs, you will end up needing a signed letter from them, and I'll go over that here in a second. But first of all, the tools that you're going to need. If you can use the tools that are in the rigging loft that you will be working with, or the rigger's tools that you will be working under. But if you want to buy your own tools, I've found that these tools are kind of like the bare minimum. And so what you will need is a logbook, obviously, to log those 20 pack jobs, because you'll end up taking that to the official that you'll need for the sign-off to take the test. So make sure that you are logging everything. You'll need to log, what kind of parachute it was, what kind of container it was, all that kind of stuff. And you'll have to learn the process of actually logging. The second thing that I've got on the screen there is going to be a locking pull-up cord that's usually used for like vector D-bags, vector Firebirds, any deployment bags, or free bags rather. Free bag is on the reserve, deployment bag is kind of on the main. But any free bag that is not a molar design, meaning it's just a continuous bag, you'll learn about that a little bit more once you start getting into it. The Cypress kit is what you will need as well, because it has the spool of material that you will be using to make new closing loops for reserves. I didn't have to make a new loop for every single reserve pack job that I did, but this will be good once you start getting into it. You'll need packing paddles as well. You can use 2 of the wooden packing paddles. Those are going to be super helpful when it comes to making those S folds. You'll learn a little bit more how a parachute is packed, obviously, if you follow the manual on. And once you start going under the training of your senior rigger that you're training under. The last 2 things that I have on there are called tension devices, and that basically allows you to get tension on the closing loop so that you can compress everything as nicely as possible, doing everything by hand. Some riggers have told me that they can close everything by hand. I don't think that would be very, very pleasant, so tension devices are what most riggers end up using. You'll see the one on the bottom right-hand corner. It's got a little it's got like a 3/8 ratchet insert there that you can put in there, and that's what I have. I just bought a little ratchet, 3/8. It's not a 1/4 inch. Yeah, I think it's 3/8. You'll just buy a ratchet off of Amazon, and those can be super, super cheap, and that allows you to ratchet down the tension. You'll learn a lot more how to use that under the rigger, but this is more an overview of just the process. Okay. So let's see. The next thing that you're going to need is a letter from your rigger, like I said. So once you finish up those 20 pack jobs, you'll need a letter in this particular wording that shows that you've completed the 20 pack jobs and that you're eligible to take the test. Okay. So what that's going to look like is the first box, for privacy reasons, block that out, obviously, but that's going to be the supervising rigger's name and address. And then below that, it'll put my name. This is the letter that he wrote me. So subject, and this format is actually laid out in the Rigger's Handbook. So if you Google the Rigger's Handbook, you'll be able to find like a 300, 400 page PDF of just how rigging works. You won't need that entirely right now, or I mean, you will. Ask your supervising rigger to show you kind of where you can get that. You'll get it online, but yeah, I don't really know what I was just saying there. But anyways, so to whom it may concern, this is to certify that Evan Santangelo has packed in excess of 20 back-type parachutes under my supervision in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and all applicable FAA directives. In addition, he has demonstrated the sound knowledge of the parachute, its construction, packing, maintenance, and use, as well as subparts A and F of 14 CFR Part 65. So lots of mumbo jumbo there, like legal stuff, but basically that's the wording that they wanted in. Sincerely yours, and then the name of the supervising rigger, and then it says senior parachute rigger, and then I've blocked it out obviously, but his certificate number will go there, as well as his seal. Below that will be a signature, and this is more than enough for what you need to satisfy the letter portion of once you've finished those 20 pack jobs. Okay, cool. So moving on. The next thing that you are going to need is a Form 8610-2, and this is the form that the FAA uses to basically apply for your rigger certificate. Okay, so the form is called basically Airman Certificate and/or Rating Application, Mechanic or Parachute Rigger. They use this form both for parachute rigger and also aircraft mechanic. So what you're going to do is you're going to Google FAA Form 8610-2, and you're going to fill it out. I have my form filled out here right in front of me. I'm not going to show that on screen because it has all of my information and all that kind of stuff. But this is the form that you're going to need. Now, you will need 2 copies of this. I would print out even more than that, probably print out 3 or 4. You will need at least 2 copies of it, okay? So the form has recently changed, and Simon Wade goes over this. I would suggest that you watch it anyway. He has a video on this, like I said. Let me go back to that. So where's it going to be? So he has it right here, actually, how to fill out 8610-2 form for a civilian senior parachute rigger. Don't go to this one. This is obviously a military senior parachute rigger, not applying to someone that's in just a civilian applying for this. I'm talking about this form right here. This form or this video is good. However, the form has changed as of, let me see what it says here. As of July of 2023, the form has been updated, so this video is slightly outdated. Just wanted to make you guys aware of that. So let's go back here. You're gonna fill it out. I'll go over it with you real fast, but here's how to find it. So we're gonna go up to Google and type in FAA Form 8610-2. And that is going to be the first link here. So we'll do that. And this website can be very, very confusing. You'll see a handful of different examples that I use. It is kind of confusing to navigate. Anyways, what you're looking for down here is the bottom, right? So you click the PDF. Let me zoom out here really fast. And so you don't need really any of this stuff for right now. What we are looking for is the actual form part of it here, okay? And so you can fill it out here on the website, which is actually super nice. I'll show you how to fill it out here as we go through. I got this form right in front of me. Now, there are special ways that you need to fill this out, okay? So we're going to click Original Issuance. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. Now, when you go to print this out, what you will need to do is strike a line through this one, mechanic, airframe, power plant, and anything that you are not applying for. So, for example, I am applying for original issuance. We are not applying for mechanic. We're applying to be a parachute rigger. a senior parachute rigger, not a master, and then also back type. So anything that is not checked, you will strike through. So there will be a line after you print this form out, you'll strike through added rating, you'll strike through other, you'll strike through mechanic, airframe, power plant, master, you'll strike through seat and chest, you'll strike through lap as well. Okay, so this is how they'll want it, and I have the original form, like I said, in front of me. So all caps. This is how the FAA guy filled it out for me after some adjustments were made. So name in all caps, last name, then first name, then middle name. Your date of birth is going to be exactly as the format that it shows here. So month, day, and four-digit year. You'll need your place of birth as well. You'll need your height only in inches, your weight in pounds only, full number, hair color, eye color, your sex, either male or female, and then your citizenship will be USA. Then you will put your address down here, basically no difference there, and then mailing address, if it's the same, you'll put that there. I'll just type this in here, or we'll just go, yeah, I don't know how much time to spend on this for you guys. You should probably learn how to figure out the form. But anyways, there's a handful of things that are actually specific to this. And so do you now or hold have ever hold an FAA Airman certificate? I have not, so this is how I filled it out. If you have like a tandem rating or something like that, you would put that in here. I think that's the medical. Go ahead and watch Simon Wade's video for reference, but he has a specific thing on here. So I have not had one suspended. Have you ever had an FAA Airman certificate? Yeah, correct. So no. Do you read or write and speak English? Yes. And let's see, what else do we have? So this one over here is no, because I've never been convicted or felon. I'm struggling with my words. But anyways, no narcotics, no drugs, any kind of violations or anything like that. Now, over here, so we're going to leave this whole section blank because this has to do with aircraft mechanic. So civil experience, military experience, anything like that. Nothing is going to be filled out until parachute rigger. Okay, this is obviously after you have all of your pack jobs done and whatnot. So what we're going to do over here, you don't have to enter anything in here, but over here on back type, you're going to put 20 because we've packed 20 pack jobs of a back type rating. Okay. Packed as A, and it says in here for master parachute rigger only, and so basically we leave both of these blank. You do not need to type or check a box in here. Okay. Now, what's different from the Simon Wade video is record of experience. When I turned my form in using Simon Wade's video, the FAA guy asked me to fill in record of experience, okay? So this would be the date that you started your pack jobs, this would be the date that you ended it, and then in this format that the FAA guy asked me for, he asked me to put the senior rigger's name that supervised me, so we'll just call him John Doe, right? And we will put self-employed unless he is employed by a drop zone, which even then I think that they are technically contractors, and so it would probably be self-employed. What he then did was put the certificate number as well as the seal number, so I'll just put XXX for that, and then he also put in there the city and state which my supervising rigger was located in. So that was, we can just put, I'm in San Antonio, so San Antonio, Texas, and this is the format that he wanted it in. Now, for type of work performed, this is the verbiage that I put in there. Packed 20 back type parachutes intended for emergency use on a dual parachute harness under supervision of certified senior rigger. This is the verbiage. This is the exact verbiage that I put on here, and it was accepted. So just use this as a reference. If you want to put something else in there, I'd imagine it would work. But anyways, so this is, I think, that everything that you have to do on this form. Obviously, you do not sign this until you are in the presence of the FAA guy. And so the FAA guy will end up printing and signing this section right here, my form. I'm looking at it right now. And it's got a printed name, a signature here, and then also a date and his FAA designation number. But basically what you'll end up having to do is you need to print your full name here and then sign your full name and date on the date that you end up going into the FAA. Okay? Now, I think that that's pretty much it on this. It'll be easier. One thing that I remember from Simon Wade's video was that he filled in, let's go down. Oh yeah, he recommended going ahead and printing this front and back, because if there's two different pages, they tend to get lost. So if you can print it front and back, that would be great. In the remarks section, he had me put, the FAA guy had me put, what was it? He had me put, shoot, let me just turn my phone off real fast. Where's my phone? Anyways, turning on Do Not Disturb. Should have done that earlier. But he had me put driver's license information in here, and also I put, let me see, the FAA guy ended up printing that here. So if you want to fill that out, I'd imagine that you should be able to do that with your driver's license. So that's how to fill out this form. Let's go back here and move on. Cool. So once you have that form, you can end up starting to study, which I'll get into in the next slide. But basically what you're going to end up doing once you have that form is you are going to schedule a meeting with your local FSDO. And so the FSDO is here. What you can do is end up typing your city in, and then so San Antonio FSDO. FSDO stands for Flight Standards District Office. So, excuse me there. I ended up looking at a FSDO here, and so this is the one that I ended up contacting. I called it, got a secretary or a phone answer person, and I said, hey, I have, this form not this form. I said, hey, I have this form 86-10. I need that to get signed. And then he took my number down, or he forwarded it to an aircraft inspector, which then ended up opening a ticket, and it had to be signed by a very specific aircraft inspector for some reason. But anyways, they'll get you pointed in the right direction. Anyways, you just need to know that this is the number for me to call because I'm in San Antonio. Obviously, there's going to be a FSDO in your area, so just find that, and you'll end up talking to the right person. Just tell them that you have that form, and they'll get you plugged into the right people. Anyways, next thing you're going to do is we're going to prepare for the written test. So once you have that, and you can start this prep basically anytime, but what we're going to end up doing is we're going to use this software, and this software is about $50. So it is the FAA Parachute Rigger Test Prep, and this is on the Apple App Store. I don't know if they offer it for iOS and like iPad and iPhone, but I know that they have a desktop version here. Actually, let me check and see if they have that real fast. This software is absolutely fantastic. It's basically the exact same questions that are going to be on your written test. So let me rigger test. Hang on just a second here. It looks like they do actually have it for iPad and iPhone. So Parachute Rigger FAA rated test, you can probably check that out. Go for it. Okay, very fantastic software. It'll go through all of the test questions. It'll be super, super helpful. It'll help you learn a ton. Okay, so next thing you're gonna have to do, and you can start this from the beginning. You can do this as you're doing your pack jobs. Your pack jobs will obviously take probably a few months to get finished, depending on how quickly you want to end up doing that. As long as you're logging them and whatnot, just make sure that you get those 20 packs done. So yeah, you're gonna study. We're going to use the Dauntless software to learn and be proficient. This is going to be a lot of mesmerization. You're going to learn some concepts. It has some references where you can learn and use those visuals to actually remember and learn concepts, which is super, super nice. It has test questions or different modes to end up testing you in different ways. There's one that ends up being like flashcards, as well as a full-on simulated test. So once you're scoring at least 90% on the practice exams, you really should have no problems passing the actual exam. I would practice a ton because a lot of people ended up asking me what I ended up getting on that written test, and so I'm not sure how how much of a good test taker you are, but you've got, I think, maybe it's an hour and a half. Either an hour and a half or 3 hours to finish a 50 question test. Go ahead and take as much time as you possibly can. Go through, and the way that I ended up testing it, they give you a blank piece of paper and a pencil. And what I ended up doing was I ended up going through all of the questions that I absolutely knew, that I was absolutely certain based on the Dauntless software. I wrote all of those down, and then what I did was ended up going back, and all of the ones that I didn't know, what you can usually do is go ahead and narrow out or kind of process of elimination, figuring out which answer is the best answer. So I mean, I wouldn't say that it's an extremely easy test, but it's not difficult if you do your stuff. If you study on Dauntless, if you actually put in the work, the passing it, I think you only need a 70. Passing it will be absolutely no problem if you're doing fairly well on Dauntless. Okay. So use the Rigger's Handbook as well. Scroll through that. Watch the video that Simon Wade that I referenced at the very beginning. He will give you a bunch of very, very good information and resources to check out. A few of those are going to be the FARs, part 65 as well as part 105. You're going to need to learn materials of like canopy fabric. You're going to need to know canopy construction. And the one thing that I found a lot, I'm not sure if your test will end up being the same, because I ended up getting a lot of questions relating to aspect ratio. Okay, so aspect ratio of a canopy. If the canopy has a higher aspect ratio, how does that affect glide and all that kind of stuff. So just familiarize yourself with that kind of content, as well as just everything else that's in Dauntless, and you'll do just fine. Cool. So take the test, and the FSDO will end up sending you a test matrix, and I'll pull that up here in a second. So testing matrix looks something like this. This is an attachment that he sent to me. And let's see. So it's basically instructions on how to take the test. However, this is very confusing if you look at it. There's not a clear cut, like straight to the point, this is what you need to do, and that's the reason for me making this video. Okay, so basically what we can do is scroll all the way down here. This is the test that we're going to end up taking, because they basically have a bunch of different tests that they group into one. So parachute rigger. Okay, parachute rigger, this is the test code that we're going to end up looking for, RIG rig. Okay, so we've got 50 questions. I guess you need to be age 14 to take it. That's surprising. You actually need to be 18 to actually get your rigger's ticket, but that's weird. Anyways, you have 2 hours to pass it, and it's 50 questions. Okay, read through this page right here, just so that you know what's up. but this information up here is what you are actually going to need. So you will need a federal tracking number, okay? So to get a federal tracking number, what you're going to end up doing, let me back up 1 second here. So to get that Dauntless software, you're going to just type in Dauntless FAA Parachute Rigger Test, and you will end up having that right there. You can either get it on the App Store or this right here. Just buy it now. It's $50. Very, very good investment. Okay, so let's go forward now, and what we're going to end up doing is how did I get to this? Oh yeah, so the testing matrix here. You're going to click this link right here. So open a Safari. This is here. What we end up doing here is registering up in this, using this register tab. So what we end up doing here is we're going to applicant. I think that what I did here, what did I do here? We are looking for, we're not looking for an instructor. Yeah, so just an applicant. End up going through this whole thing. You can fill out all of this stuff, create an account, and then you will be issued a federal an FAA tracking number, okay? So so what we're going to do with that tracking number is then we're going to go and actually register to take the test. So scroll all the way down. You can look through this stuff. It's basically just telling you that you need a valid form of ID. And then what you'll end up needing to do is PSI is the testing center that the FAA uses. So we'll go to the PSI website. And what we'll need to do is create an account. And once we create an account, we can find a testing center. And let me see how we end up doing this. So postal code, my postal code is 78251. And we'll put United States. And then we will scroll down to, where did we? Parachute rigger, rig. So RAG, this is the one that we're looking for, rig. Okay. I guess I have a space in there. Cool. So what we're going to end up doing is searching, and then so what we will end up doing is, so Hallmark College, I remember going through this. Not all of these offer the parachute rigger test, which is anyways, so what we have here, you'll end up needing to basically find one of these test sites that actually offers the rig test, and so then you'll schedule that. And let me go back here. So, like I said, you'll need your FAA tracking number. You'll visit the PSI website, follow the instructions to schedule a test. You're probably more than capable of doing that. And then also just make sure that you're actually going to pass it. I know that is kind of implied, but the test was $175, and I would not want to take that twice. So make sure that you take your test, take time with your test. Make sure that you are actually not rushing yourself, making sure that you're actually going to pass the test. What I ended up doing is I actually used the calculator to go through, and I think that since there's 50 questions, each test is going to be worth 2 points, right? And so what I did was I went through and got answered all of the questions that I absolutely knew the answer was correct according to the Dauntless software. And as long as I was getting at least 35 of them correct, that means that I had a 70, and then the rest of them I just kind of filled in, trying to get the highest score that I possibly could. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyways. The next thing. So once you end up passing the test, congratulations, woohoo! What we're going to need to do is find a DPRE, and a DPRE is a designated parachute rigger examiner. This is the person that you're going to end up taking the oral and practical test from. So what we're going to end up doing is Googling, basically to try and find a DPRE near us, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's not many, okay? So depending on if you're in certain states, this is going to be very, very difficult since there's no DPREs there. There's not many of them. So this is one advantage that the course, going through an actual course has. Luckily for me, I was able to find a DPRE kind of in the area. And so what we can do is go to Google again and search FAA DPRE search. Now this, like I said, this website can get a little bit confusing. So what we're going to end up doing is going up here and zooming out just a tad. Like I said, this is not great. So basically what we're going to do is go down here to examiners, designated parachute rigger examiners, and you would think that there's going to be like a lookup system. There's absolutely nothing here. So what we're going to need to do is looking for a designee in your area, click here. Okay, so what we're going to look for here, this is kind of their searching database. So what we need to do here is go to DPRE, Designated Parachute Rigger Examiner, and then what we're going to do is a location search. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to, just pick something random. What we can do is, let's just, Colorado, right? You can put a something in there as well, just to get someone close to you, but just put the state, honestly, because there's so few. So what we're going to need to do is go to the authorizations. We are going to need a DPRE that can test us on a back type rating. So we're going to need to click that. And then what we're going to do is click search. Okay, so it looks like these are the two DPREs who have our back rating in Colorado. Okay. Same thing is going to be, let's say, California. Same thing. We're going to look at the different guys here. These guys are in California. I know that in Texas, there's only one that I tested with. So we've got Marcelo, and this is the guy that I tested with. A super nice guy. I would recommend him to pretty much anyone. And so basically just find where you're at. So like I said, it can be a little bit difficult, like in Pennsylvania. Let's say there's one in Pennsylvania. I looked earlier and saw like Oklahoma or something like that. There was no one in Oklahoma, so you may need to go somewhere else. Okay. Anyways, that's how you find a DPRE. Here's some kind of best practices when communicating with them. Find the one closest to you, give them a shout, and introduce yourself. Okay. Be a nice person. They're people too. They're I mean, be a nice human. The nicer that you can be to them, they're not just someone that you need to get a sign off from. Actually have an interaction with them, show kindness, all that kind of stuff. This is just basic human stuff, but show them that you have your stuff together. Okay. If you call them and say, hey, what do I need to do to get my parachute rigger's ticket or whatever, they're going to be like, dude, really? You're contacting me and this late down the funnel, and I don't have time to do that with you. So because they're normally testing other people or doing military contracts. Okay, so don't waste their time, don't waste yours. Tell them that you already have completed your 20 pack jobs, you've met with the FSDO, you've gotten that form signed, you've taken the test, or you have scheduled the test, and that you're going to be ready to test with them pretty soon. See what their availability is, see what they charge. Ask them if there's anything that you should be preparing, to prepare for yourself for the actual practical and oral exam. Like I said, let them know that you have your stuff together and you're not going to waste their time. The better that you can do that, the nicer they're going to be to you, the nicer they're going to be to just help you get everything that you need, and so on and so forth. Okay. So here's what you're going to do to practice for the oral and practical, and you can do a lot of this stuff together. So you can practice to take the test, you can be doing your pack jobs, you can be practicing for the oral and practical as well. The oral part of it is going to be pretty much anything that is on the Dauntless software. Okay, that's what he told me. Everyone is going to be a little bit different, but this is that's kind of my experience. So preparing for your practical. Basically, visit your local drop zone and ask the rigger there. Probably going to be the one that you did your pack jobs with. If you can spend a day working with him in the loft, just getting yourself familiar with the different kind of rigger techniques, the different things that riggers do, kind of best practices. Just know your stuff. Like, educate yourself. This is not something that you can just get a sign off. They're not going to let anyone just go pack reserves. So make sure that you're actually wanting to learn about this stuff. Spend some time on the sewing machines, because you will end up doing a patch. And so you'll have to learn how to do that. What I ended up doing is, over all the knowledge that I've learned before, what I ended up doing was contacting my rigger and said, hey, listen, what would it cost for me just to spend a day with you and prep for my rigger exam? This is what the DPRE told me that I should cover. This is what he told me that I should be familiar with. Can you help me do these things? And just kind of educate yourself. Okay, so learn how to do a line set, grommets. The DPRE probably won't have you do a line set, but it's going to be a little bit more like patchwork. Obviously, you're going to have to do a full repack. When you're doing the repack, follow the manual as closely as possible. They will not penalize you for following the manual. They will penalize you for doing it all off memory. So make sure that you're spending extra time in the manual, and like I said, learn as much as you can. Okay? So this is the end of my slideshow here. Hopefully you guys ended up finding some value out of this. Go watch Simon Wade's videos. Simon Wade's videos are absolutely fantastic. I'm going to show you this here. So he's got how to do a BOC. This one will be helpful. The DPRE may have you do a BOC. Okay. What I think that helped me a lot is the more that I communicated how much effort I have put in beforehand to the DPRE, the more he was like, okay, this guy's kind of done this, and I don't necessarily think he'll go as hard, but that's not up to me. That's not anything that I can say. They do have certain things that they are going to test you on, and pay attention to this video right here. When testing, this is going to be a great video, as well as this one, the rigger pre-test roundup. He will go over pretty much everything that the DPREs actually have to test you on. Now, the DPREs actually want you to succeed. They're not trying to fail you, and this is something that all the riggers have told me that I've asked for information from. They're not trying to fail you, but you don't want to look like an idiot. Make sure that you have your stuff together. Learn how to do different stuff. Watch all of these videos here. He goes over kind of in depth. You'll need to watch them a few different times for things to click for you. But these are going to be very, very, very helpful videos in actually answering the questions on the oral test, or even just being knowledgeable. Here's a very, very good video of basic parachute patch. He'll show you how to do a patch, and this is basically straight out of the Parachute Rigger's Handbook, so make sure that you're familiar with that. Your DPRE may ask you to set up a sewing machine. You will have to have basic sewing machine operation as well, so make sure that you watch this. You don't have to memorize everything in depth, but you will have to know basic information. Okay. You will need to know as well how to fill out that form. I went over that form with you, but make sure that you watch this just in case as well, and communicate with the FSDO official as far as what they want on the form. Obviously, they're the ones that will be signing the form, and then your DPRE will be the one taking one of those 2 copies of the form and sending it off to the FAA, who will ultimately end up giving you your certificate number and signing you off once you pass all of the required things. So that's all I have for you. That's how I did it, and I'm super grateful for all of the people. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Jason White for helping me, as well as Cookie at Spaceland San Marcos, as well as Marcelo for testing me. I really appreciate all of you guys. Jason, I ended up doing all of my pack jobs with, and he was super, super helpful. Like I said, he didn't want really anything in terms of cash or anything like that, which was very, very generous of him. But I wanted to make sure that I showed him that I appreciated him, so gave him some money anyway. Cookie as well, up at the loft at Spaceland San Marcos, was super, super helpful in on like preparing for the actual practical side of it, the practical and oral test. Learned a lot of knowledge from him. I ended up packing around with him as well, and just super, super grateful to have those guys help me out. So yeah, that's what I got. If you have or find any information that you feel like I missed, or even corrections, I went through a lot of this pretty quick, but like I said, this is the way that I did it, and ended up passing, and now I'm a rigger. So that's pretty awesome. And like I said, it's so great to maintain my own gear. Just being able to wash rigs whenever I need to. Obviously, you end up putting more wear and pack jobs on a reserve if you want to do it earlier, but it helps you be able to swap out AADs, swap out reserves if you need to, and just kind of be a better skydiver. I can end up packing now any back type rating. So yeah, I'm just kind of rambling on here at the end now. So thank you guys for watching. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button. I know this is not for a huge audience, but I do want to try and help those people who actually have a desire to learn. So if you found it helpful, make sure to hit the like button, and if you actually want to throw some cash my way for the information, I'd appreciate that as well, but not required. So if you guys have any comments, drop them below, and I appreciate you guys. Thanks.